Hi friends, in the last video we discussed about the Coulomb's law and the superposition principle, and in today's video we are going to talk about a very interesting concept known as the electric field. So let's suppose that we have two charged particles. Charge on first one is capital Q, charge on second one is small q, and distance between them is r. Then we know that there would be some electrostatic force acting between the two, and the force is given by F equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught times capital Q into small q over r squared. Now let's suppose we remove this charge small q from this position. So here comes an interesting question. So what remains at this position once we remove this charge small q? So if nothing is there, then where does the force comes from once we bring in the charge small q and keep it here? So to answer such questions, British physicist Michael Faraday introduced an idea of the electric field. So let's try to understand it. Now I will rewrite this formula for the electrostatic force like this: 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught times capital Q over r squared. I will put this term in brackets and we have multiplied by small q. Then this term in brackets is known as the electric field of charge capital Q acting at distance r. So we'll write this as E. So F equals to E times Q. And what is E? So E is electric field of charge capital Q at distance r. So according to Michael Faraday, once we keep some charge at any point, it creates its effect in its surrounding region, and that effect is known as its electric field. So when we remove the charge small q from this point, what remains there is the electric field of the charge capital Q. And then when we bring the small q back, it experiences a force because it is kept in the electric field of charge capital Q. Alright. So the electric field of charge capital Q is given by the formula E equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught times Q over r squared, and it's the effect of charge capital Q, so it should not depend on small q, and as we can see it doesn't depend on the charge small q. Okay, now we can rewrite this equation to define the electric field, and this equation gives us that E equals to F divided by Q. So the electric field at any point in space is defined as the force experienced per unit charge kept at that point. Okay. Then since E equals to F divided by Q, the unit of electric field is the unit of force, which is Newton, divided by unit of charge, which is Coulomb. Okay. Now since the electrostatic force is a vector quantity and the electric field is electrostatic force divided by charge, therefore the electric field is also a vector quantity and it's directed in direction of the force. Okay. Now in this case we wanted to find out the electric field of capital Q. So capital Q is known as the source charge, and we brought small q to detect the electric field of capital Q. So small q is known as the test charge, and the convention is to use a positive test charge which is very small in magnitude. After that Let's talk about representation of the electric field. So the electric field is represented by drawing directed lines in space, and the lines drawn to represent the electric field is known as the electric field lines. So here is the representation of the electric field of positive charge and a negative charge. So let's try to understand this. So let's consider a small positive test charge kept at this point. So since this charge is also positive, there will be repulsion between the two charges, and small q will be pushed away radially outwards due to the force exerted by the capital Q. Okay. Then if we keep the charge small q over here, it will be pushed away in this direction and so on. So since the force exerted by a positive charge on a positive test charge is directed radially outwards, the electric field lines drawn to show the electric field of a positive charge are also directed radially outwards. Okay. Similarly, the force exerted by a negative charge on a positive test charge is directed radially inwards, and therefore the electric field lines drawn to represent the electric field of a negative charge are directed radially inwards. Okay. So this is the representation of the electric field of positive charge and the electric field of a negative charge. Then in this case, there is a positive charge and a negative charge, both of same magnitude, kept near to each other, and this is how the pattern of electric field lines due to these two charges looks like. So there is attraction between this positive charge and this negative charge. So we can think of these electric field lines, the curved electric field lines, in this way, that the positive charge is pulled by the negative charge towards it. Okay, and therefore the arrows are directed towards this negative charge. Okay, and in this case we have two positive charges, so there will be repulsion between the two positive charges, and therefore the electric field lines due to those charges put a pressure onto each other, and therefore they get modified like this. Okay, now let's look at some properties of electric field lines. So the first property is electric field lines start at a positive charge and end at a negative charge. So here we have the electric field due to a positive and a negative charge of same magnitude. So in this diagram we can see that electric field lines are starting at this positive charge and they are ending at this negative charge. Okay. Second property is they are dense in the region of strong electric field and they are separated in the region of weak electric field. So if we look at the electric field due to a positive charge, then we know that the formula for the electric field is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught times q over r squared. So the electric field is inversely proportional to r squared. That means near to the charge the electric field will be strong, and as the distance goes on increasing, the electric field will become weaker and weaker. So here we can see that near to the charge the electric field lines are dense, the distance between them is small, and as we go away from the charge the distance between them goes on increasing. That means the electric field lines are dense in the region of strong electric field and they become separated in the region of weak electric field. Okay. Next property says tangent drawn to electric field line at any point gives the direction of electric field at that point. So let's suppose I draw an electric field line somewhere in space. So suppose I want the direction of electric field at various points on that electric field line. Then what I will do is I will draw tangents at those points. So tangent drawn over here will give me direction of electric field at this point. Tangent drawn at this point gives the direction of electric field at this point, and so on. Okay. So to find out the direction of electric field, we'll draw tangent on electric field line. Then next property says that two electric field lines do not cross each other. Let's think why. So let's suppose that they do cross. So I have drawn two electric field lines over here which are crossing each other at this point. So we have seen in previous property that tangent drawn to electric field line at any point gives the direction of electric field at that point. So let's think about what will be the direction of electric field at this point of the intersection of two electric field lines. So if we draw tangents on these electric field lines at this point, then this electric field line says that the electric field at this point is directed in this direction, and the other one says that the electric field is directed in this direction. But there can be only one direction of the electric field at any point in space, and therefore this diagram is wrong. Okay, so two electric field lines will never cross each other. And the last property is they don't form closed loops. So we know that electric field lines start at a positive charge and they end at a negative charge, and if we draw a closed loop, then we won't know where is the starting point of these electric field lines and where is the end point. Okay, so the electric field lines cannot form a closed loop.